Hi guys, welcome to my new video on this YouTube channel. This is the voice of Trade with World Bank. So what are we looking at today? In today's video, we're going to be looking at a weekly outlook and weekly analysis for three different pairs. Okay, so these three different pairs are the pairs we're going to be using for videos on this YouTube channel every weekend. If I get chance to analyze every weekend, then I'm going to drop bots. We're going to be using those three pairs strictly. Okay, so let's check the pairs right now. I sent a message to the Telegram group. People should send pairs they want us to analyze. Okay, so I'll be selecting EURUSD from this guy. I'll be selecting GBPNZD from this guy, or EURCHF. Let me choose EURCHF. I don't really like NZD pairs because of their spikes. I'll be choosing EURUSD from this guy, EURCHF from this guy, and then GBPJPY from this guy. Okay, I think those are three different pairs: EURUSD, EURCHF, and then GBPJPY. Okay, so let's quickly make a playlist for them, or a new symbol, a new list for them. Pause the video. Okay, right now I've selected the pairs I'll be using to trade on this YouTube channel, which are this one YouTube channel. We have, this is the GBPJPY pair, EURUSD pair, and EURCHF. Okay, so let's start with GBPJPY ASAP. We're just going to be looking at the outlook, what we should be expecting for next week, and once it's next week, we should be seeing yeah, so let's delete everything we have there ASAP. So once it's next week again, we're going to keep checking, and keep checking till the analysis play out. Okay, now on the daily time frame, I can see that this is a structural high. We have something that we call equal highs at that point, and here we also have a beautiful demand zone here. Beautiful demand zone that price might want to tap into before moving to the upside. And structurally, from this double top here, or whatever you can call it, any retail pattern you can call them, you can call this a double top on, but double top, not double bottom, sorry. Then you can call it also equal highs. For me, I'll call it equal highs since we're not dealing with retail here. Okay, and we're looking to tap into this demand zone before moving to the upside. Okay, and while looking to tap into this demand zone, market is what structurally bearish. So then, because we can see that we have multiple break of structure at this point and at this point also. Okay, so let me delete that and let me leave this one alone. Okay, now let's move down to the 4-hour time frame. Remember, structurally we are still bearish after giving us these equal highs. We're still bearish, and then we're expecting market to tap into this demand zone here before looking for swing buys. Yeah, that should be for swing opportunities to buy. So down on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we are still very bearish on the 4-hour time frame, and then you can look for supply zones that you can sell into to this demand zone. Okay, that's what we call the counter trend trades that we always deal with every time. So looking at this imbalance here, you can see that markets might want to fill that imbalance, and we also have higher supply zones also like this that markets may also want to look into before selling to touch that demand zone. Okay, now this is the 4-hour time frame. This is what we have on the 4 hours time frame. So before, we should know that on the 4-hour time frame also, before markets get to this supply zone, it has to what? It has to buy into the zone. Okay, so let's go down to the 1-hour time frame now. After selecting the supply zone or demand zone on the bigger time frame, you can refine it on the 1-hour time frame, whichever one you like. You can, refine it like that. Now we know that, okay, market is going to still buy up into this demand supply zone before it starts selling. We can then look for break of structures and then buying opportunities. At this point, I was I was in a class with my students, and there was a buy opportunity there. I think somewhere around this side. Okay, now we have a break of structure here, and we have imbalance here, as you can see, and then a demand zone. Okay, we have 3 zones here to watch out for, as you can see beautifully here. So whichever zone gives us a mitigation or confirmation to what to buy, that's what this zone we're going to look into. Okay, so I'll just quickly, I won't talk about the entries here. I'm just going to talk about how you can look for buying opportunities at this point. Okay, so now let's keep going, and we want to tap into any of these zones, because we don't know which zone is going to hold, but the confirmation is going to give us the confidence and confluence. The confidence enough here is imbalance, but this is an extreme zone. This is an extreme zone because this is the last zone for structural swing. Okay, but this is just a normal low that we are looking towards to buy from a demand zone. Okay, so let's see what we could have done. Okay, now market is trying to tap into this. Market has tapped into this. I won't run straight into the 1 minute time frame to look for entries. No, that won't really make sense because it's just like you want to catch a falling knife. Okay, so the best thing is go down to another 15 minutes time frame. Then you can anticipate a break of structure. Okay, then if you can anticipate a break of structure, then you can draw out. Okay, you can see now we have a beautiful break of structure at this point, and then you can draw out another demand zone. Okay, then you can look for entries on the 1 minute time frame inside this zone. All right, then okay, so that would have been a very good trade up to this point. And remember, we're still looking for buying opportunities. Okay, so that's a beautiful way to have entered this trade using the 15 minutes break of structure and then another 1 minute entry again. Okay, I won't be I won't dive deep into entries because I'm just making an analysis. Okay, so for next week we are going to be looking at the continuation of the buys. Okay, the buys should still continue because there's a break of structure and imbalance is still here, so we should be expecting a tap into this zone, confirmation, 15 minutes confirmation, whatever confirmation you use, and that like that. Okay, or if this doesn't touch this zone, markets might just push straight into this zone. Then definitely you should wait for your entry criteria before the delivery of price. That's what we are looking for on GBPJPY. And remember, the daily is still this target here. You can see even on the daily is still kind of very bearish, but in between the 1 hour time frame, we could have taken a beautiful buy position at this point. And I was in a one-on-one class explaining entries here to one of my students. So let's move to another pair, ASAP, EURUSD. Let's check what we have on EURUSD. EURUSD is very bearish. Let's check for target areas. Okay, these are some target areas like this. Look at this demand zone here, but there's liquidity here. I don't know if there is a demand zone below that liquidity, so it doesn't matter if there's liquidity there or not. Since there's imbalance acting as confluence, then we can see this also. So remember, but this one has been tapped already. This one has been tapped, so I think I'll just ignore it. But nonetheless, now this has tapped into our daily swing zone. Okay, so the first target should be here, this supply zone here. Then the second target, we never can tell where market is going to head to. We never can tell all these supply zones like this. And then whenever you're taking the buys, don't close the buys immediately because this one might not hold, this one might not hold, and this one might not hold. So then you are in profit already. Remember to always use confirmation before you enter trades. Now this is the demand zone on the daily time frame, weekly time frame. Wow, that's beautiful. So let's check what we have on the okay. Daily is still beautiful here. It's beautiful, kind of refined. Now let's dive. Okay, on the daily time frame, we are still very bearish. Now let's go down to the 4 hour time frame. We shouldn't be looking for buys immediately, going out to 1 minute immediately. No, it wouldn't make sense that way. So we have to break it down step by step and look for multiple break of structures across different time frames before we look into what confirming the buying opportunity. Okay, now this downtrend has ended, so we don't need to look for selling opportunities here, but we have selling opportunities for targets. Okay, for targets, so we can refine it on the 4 hour time frame. Can say this is a good refined zone. So I'm dealing with that zone for that side. I'll be dealing with this zone for this side. We have let me use this. Yeah, there's imbalance here that might be filled. Yeah, now this is the tap into the weekly demand zone. It has even bought massively already, but since it's a weekly zone, it should be for swing. Okay, now let's go down to the 1 hour time frame. After the bearish structure ended, this one gave us sort of consolidation or range, but breaking highs at this point. You can see this one is a beautiful break of structure, and then on the 1 hour time frame, you can look for this demand zone here, which has been mitigated beautifully, and it's still trying to come back again. Maybe it wants to still mitigate this candle here. We don't know. Yeah, so I'm still expecting more tap into this zone to keep buying. Let's go down to 30 minutes time frame to see what we have, if there are any unmitigated zones on the 30 minutes time frame. So these zones, I might say this one has been mitigated, this one has not been mitigated, this one, let's check this. This one didn't give us any confirmation at that point. So we should be looking at this zone. Yeah, open up that candle, and yeah, this zone here. Yeah, so let's go back to the 1 hour time frame to check those zones if okay, just like I marked earlier. So this one should be the week, because that was the last down move before the up move. So that can be our last demand, extreme demand, and it can also be here also. Okay, now that we've gotten all these confirmation and confluences, there's still imbalance here, and there's also imbalance here. What we can do now when we get at that point is, you don't just enter the 1 minute time frame immediately. Wait for break of structure either on 5 minutes or 15 minutes time frame. Then once you get the break of structure, once you get the tap break of structure, then once you wait for a fractal confirmation, then at this point you can also use the 1 minute time frame again to enter. Okay, so this is the 15 minutes zone, and then when you're looking for entry, you can then use 1 minute break of structure again. Okay, that should make sense like that. So that's what I have for EURUSD. I'm still very bullish on EURUSD. The first target might be this one here, and so on to the top. Okay, but this is looking very, very aggressive. It's looking like it has mitigated this 4-hour supply here. Okay, let's try to refine that a little bit. Okay, yeah, so it has mitigated this 1 hour supply zone. You could have found your entries there, and we're still expecting this buy again, because this is still the overall weekly zone. This is the extreme zone on the 1 hour time frame. This is a low demand zone, and then this is the extreme demand zone we're looking to buy from. Now this is what I'm expecting. I'm still very, very bullish on EURUSD. Okay, and then if it pierces through this zone, then we should expect more sales. If it pierces through this zone, we should expect more sales. If it doesn't pierce through that zone and gives us confirmation around these zones, then we can look to buy again. Then we'll ignore this supply zone. But if market doesn't tap into this zone and just moves up like this, then you can still consider this supply zone there. Want to use the supply zone to sell back into the markets and then push to the upside using your confirmation. Okay, let's move to the last pair, which is the EURCHF. EURCHF, the daily time frame. So by next week, we'll be checking everything that we analyzed. Though these are not my pairs, these are not the pairs I trade. I'm just doing this for this YouTube channel. Okay, on the daily time frame, weekly looks very bearish. Okay, let me just use this horizontal axis and fast through. Okay, this is the weekly demand zone we're looking to buy, but it hasn't tapped into, and we're still very, very bearish. Then that means we can still look for selling opportunities before we tap into this zone. Okay, EURCHF looks more like EURUSD. That's because they are both using euro as a currency. Okay, now that's the supply zone to sell from. I don't really like what I'm seeing here. This is a very, very bullish uptrend within this downtrend. Okay, so let's go into the 1 hour time frame. This is the 1 hour time frame. We have imbalance here, and then we have imbalance here also. That broke structure. Okay, I like using the extreme imbalances because you always you always want to sell. You always want to buy low, rather. You want to buy at a very, very lower price. But still doesn't matter to me. Once I get my confirmation in any of these, once I get my fractal confirmation in any of these time frames, I go in ASAP. So that's not an issue at all. Is not okay. So this is what I'm expecting for EURCHF. Then tap into this bearish structure, and then we can look to sell back into the daily or weekly demand zone. Okay, so these are the supply zones I'm watching out for. Okay, just this one here. I love this imbalance at this point, so this should be a very good target. And then when it gets there, at this point market will be very, very bullish. So you don't just go down to 1 minute time frame. You wait for a break of structure and pullback like that. So on this pair, I'm bullish and I'm bearish. Okay, I'm bullish when I get a confirmation here to this upside to sell, and I'm bearish when it doesn't give me any confirmation or just enter this zone and then start selling. Okay, overall the 4 hour trend is what is very, very bearish. And then before we can tap into this bearish zone, we have to buy. And the process of looking for buying opportunities, we have to look for demand zones that broke structure, like it was a break of structure, and then we're looking to we're looking to buy from there after they've given us a nice confirmation. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. Let me mark out this. I don't really like using this, but because when markets opens, everything just scatters. And this, so that targets same for GJ, and okay, it's almost the same analysis on everything. Okay, you have to be fluid in these markets. This one has almost tapped into this zone. You have to be sure of your confirmation before jumping into the trade like that. Okay, so I think that will be all for now. The pre-sale of my ebook is going to end today, so don't forget to purchase the ebook if you like my work. All right, so I think that will be all for now. I'll say peace, guys. I'm out.